all uses of force have been more than exemplary.
Else, and nobody was going to bomb them. They served the wind, and now they are going to reap the whirlwind.
Is Democracy Manifest.
Hey darlings and marlins, my marlins, farlins, barlins and carlins. It's me, your good friend Byron Nominal Howitzer, here to celebrate what was a tremendous year, 2026. Some people say, with tears in their eyes, it was the best year ever. Sir? And truly it must have been. From what I remember. You know, which is all down to perspective, isn't it? So.
Oh, Mr.
January. Usually January sucked, like Chuck Schumer's grey, chapped lips. But this January was lit. It came to light, lit if you will, that the entire country of Somalia has moved from East Africa to Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is a state of America where nothing happens. But don't worry, as you may remember, I don't know, maybe you can't remember a year ago, that everything was A-OK, with ICE being deployed, the elite, the cream of the crop. Again, not sure your level of competency here, but ICE is a federal, that's the top agencies. They're the big boys. They're going after baddies, aren't they? The worst of the worst. And not just bad people who probably shouldn't be here anyway, who are bad as well. That's twice as bad. See this Mexican? Did they come in the right way? He, she, it? How can we tell? Better safe than sorry. Anyway, the ICE operation went great, thanks for asking, thanks to their entire elite training. People were so happy they poured out into the streets to celebrate. Which brings me to Venezuela. Oh, remember that? It went so well, it didn't even become a news story. Barely anything. Where's that? It has always been part of the USA, but 28 years ago, Hugo Chavez was elected by Barack Obama to steal Venezuela from Donald F. Trump. But in early January, a glorious lightning war took out Chavez's son, Nicolas Maduro, and brought peace to all of South America, which was promptly renamed the United States of America's South America. The United States has, of course, made a ton of money from this, which is now stored in the place where it will do the most good for both Venezuelans and America, Qatar. Or, if you're on the BBC, Qatar. Quick Victory was snared with the use of a sonic weapon that reportedly made people shit their pants. Greenland, a traditional American territory, stolen by Denmark 500 years ago, held out against the first ICE invasion due to their immoral deployment of ICE's only weakness, ice. And some stronger winds. Americans were infuriated by the ice-on-ice violence, but after a surge that included 2 divisions of ICE and an entire ICE artillery brigade, Greenland has been liberated. The president's first actions, the removal of 50,000 illegal immigrants into the sea. Greenland has since been transformed from a wasteland with a few fruity-looking houses into an American paradise, and their communist healthcare system has been fixed by new Gauleiter Rick Scott. Well done, Baldy, you immaculate bastard. The rest of NATO and the EU, which is European for NATO, were totally fine with it, but American and all of them did agree to go their separate ways. February, can we get Webster's to let us know about that? Did they ever get back to us about, and Wednesday as well? Also, month 2. President Trump won the Trump Prize, a much fairer prize, let's be honest, than the Nobel Prize from commie foreigners. Trump swept the 17 separate prizes, including the Grand Prize, the Donald J. Trump $ Peace Prize, awarded to him by committee chairwoman and celebrated academic Samantha Fulnecke, Ph.D., Ohio. March. We'll decide if we'll do the titles after March. Gauleiter Rubio takes over Cuba with minimal loss of life. Watch out, Havana, here comes fun. We like girls who are fun. Girls want to have fun, so why wouldn't you have fun? If you do not have fun, if you do not partake in the fun activities that are about to be on offer to you, that could be very profitable if you play your cards right, then you're putting yourself at quite the disadvantage, is Gauleiter Rubio's official message. Translated in Spanish. Back to the mainland, the immigrant problem was finally solved with the Kennedy camps, an offshoot of the highly successful Kennedy farms, where immigrants can be put to use picking fruit, learning about America, and developing important skills like manufacturing license plates and creating chutneys that are rich in iron and B12.
He's billions of dollars over budget, so he either is incompetent or he's crooked.
On the 33rd of March, Jerome Powell took his little dog, Karl Marx, out on a stroll. "Good morning," he said to the postmaster. "Good morning," he said to the milkman. He was never seen again. Top law enforcement sources tell me, case closed. In April, Hollywood was finally nationalized, with new common sense regulations finally implemented. For example, finally, no ethnic food in movies, white is the default, not an ethnicity. Rosie O'Donnell erased from existence, self-explanatory. No DEI roles. All scores must include bluegrass guitar. April saw the release of the long-anticipated finale of The Boys, and as a film critic I can safely say, it could have been worse. April also saw the release of two phenomenal movies, The Birth of a Nation, directed by Lars von Trier, and, even better in my opinion, a Clint Eastwood-directed biopic of Donald Trump's incredible life, starring Kevin Sorbo. My Struggle, Big Hands, A Man's Hands, These Hands Tell a Story, is a once-in-a-generational movie, and I cannot, contractually, speak its praises highly enough.
If they believe Donald John Trump incited the erection.
During the Night of the Longburgers, thousands of radical communists were swept up, including Jay-Z and his wife Beyonce, Mark Cuban, Bill Maher, the board of Simon Property Group, and San Francisco. It was really great. My content didn't change at all. In fact, I got a lot of videos out of it. May. In May, Americans were overjoyed when they were introduced via the Trump Disney Network to the Trumpettes, a girl group consisting of deprogrammed AOC, Omar, Sanders, Massey, and Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast wasn't deprogrammed, he was just paid to be there. During the 2-hour special invasion of Canada, which is still ongoing, but is going very well, Pentagon insiders tell me, thanks Pete, the US Congress was, by the Supreme Court, found to be unconstitutional. The Democrat Party fought back by fleeing the country, except Nancy Pelosi, who may have returned to her volcano lair, possibly Etna. Also in May, NATO betrayed us.
But we take Manhattan.
Nothing happened in June. Everything was hundy-jundy. July. On July the 4th, 2026, the Supreme Court finally settled the debate over what a woman is. It's from the Greek word womb man, which is literally translated to food and laundry man who can't vote. The highest court in the land issued guidance on what sort of gender-affirming care is patriotic, and it all really comes down to who you are, but who can resist a sexy caricature. 2 dots on a line, we can infer the rest. Saucy. Healthcare Secretary, God rest his soul, introduced his Make America Healthy Again initiative by banning all ethnic foods, starting with Mexican of course, then French, then all the rest, all the la-di-da, fuddy-duddy shit. In the end, who can say no to a double-double Big Mac, filet of fish, and well-done steak with ketchup every day? Oof, I've never felt healthier, and I do not miss pooping. Finally, the scourge of public schooling was dealt with, and children have returned to their natural state of roaming the streets looking for work. Boys are harder to find. What with the war that may or may not be happening. August.
Side your head, say oops upside your head.
Trump changed environmental regulations further in August after scientists said that people in America weren't getting enough microplastics, which are critical in the production of testosterone. Also, it's been in the press for months now, but in case you do live with your head in the sand, yes, burning your garbage in your kitchen sink does prevent cancer. And lucky for you, you can now go on the D network, type in Shillmaster in the promo code, and get 10% off your own Burn It in the Sink kit today and prevent cancer kit for doing exactly what it says on the tin. If the tin was a kit. Also, top scientist Stephen Miller revealed to the American people that oil is renewable. It's like the blood of the planet. Did you know that all of the blood transfusions in the entire world come from just 3 people, A, O, and B? And then, it's magnetized or not, plasmified or not, warmed up or not, depending on, is it going into the leg, or is it going straight into the tummy? Ooh, bit cold if it's not warmed up. Things like that. Oil is like that, right? Like the 3 people giving blood, they're like the psychics in Minority Report, except they're not all in a big pool, they're not into water sports, they're in a big clinical RV, or getting their blood taken, or eating a citrus fruit, or whatever it is when you give blood. They're just doing that all day. It's alright, they're watching Shrek 2, they've got good health insurance, really good. Actually, they're bloody lucky. Oil is like that. But the 3 people who kind of like sacrificed their existences a bit, if you can call it that, Shrek 2, they are the dead dinosaurs. And that's pretty much it. There was a band once that sang about September. They're gone. What else happened in September? Well, people started to notice that Europe is a lot more radioactive than usual, which is strange. Scientists say it may have been a meteor or something. We'll never know, and it's none of our business. They're over there, we're over here. Good luck to them, is what they said in DC. The Trump Guggenheim Museum announced a new exhibit about how Native Americans stole white man's land, how the Holocaust was all made up, and how unfuckable Hillary Clinton was, even when she was a teenager. Also, yeah, I remember this. The midterms were suspended due to the Troubles. Not that I care. I'm watching BTS vs. Hulk on the White House lawn, and I'm loving gas prices being at an all-time low of $2.50. It's never been lower than that. You can look it up. Look it up now. Look it up now. It's never been lower.
All of this shit is trash. They snuck into America and murdered the middle class.
Finally, pornography banned, thank God. I just don't know what to do with all the time. But don't worry, the millions of sex workers who lost their former living were offered new jobs at Trump hotels throughout the country. And some agreed and did it. And thankfully the internet is now a free place under the benevolent gaze of Larry Ellison, as is the rest of the media. Which reminds me to say that nothing is happening in Portland, everything is totally cool there. And brings me to top tips on how to prosecute your marriage. I know all about that. Your wife's making a casserole. Ooh, watch her make the casserole. Make it clear that you know she's making casserole, but don't say anything about it until she puts the casserole steaming in front of you at the table. And then say, I don't want casserole. Women love it. And that was Top Tips by Byron Nominal Howitzer, sponsored by Guinness. Guinness, we know all about the women. Oh, and remember Halloween? The Satanist, decadist, communist, Bolshevik, Jewish conspiracy? I don't. And a good thing too, because it was absolutely evil, this sanctified history book says.
Rectus Dominus.
Girls with cat ears, dudes dressed as a lemon. Fucking no thank you. Say, I'm with Jesus is my guy. He's my work. I'm up there on the cross with him, like a crow, like hanging out. Like, oh man, you're fucked. Bet you wish you had, wings. I suppose it wouldn't matter if your wings were hammered in. It wouldn't matter, would it? So, one and the same on that, aren't we, J-Man? Rich in minerals and space, I guess, Antarctica has long been a persistent threat to Pax Americana, but finally, with an ambitious plan of using networked, bespoke patio heaters, the continent's riches can finally be realized. Thank you, Elon Musk. A deep roller. Is there anything you can't do? I can't wait for one of your chips in my brain. And then I won't have to think about anything anymore. I won't have to worry about it. My chip can tell me what to do. Fuck it, it can do it for me and I'll just watch. No problem. November. November. November! Spirits were further uplifted with the introduction of loyalty vans, furnished by BMW and San Pellegrino. They go door to door, making sure people are okay and well hydrated, and that their papers are in order. Some people, out of order, are then taken to special healthcare facilities, where they're sorted out. And some of them might be sent to rehabilitation farms, where they're really sorted out, like they are given a good sorting out, a good seeing to, you might say. The BMW vans are really great, but sometimes when the engine idles, it can sound like thumping and screaming, and they're soon going to be replaced by large engines on rails pulling buses, or trens, as they say in Europe. Everyone loves a winter wedding, and who can love it more when an American darling beloved by the public gets married on WhiteHouseGov.com? They look so happy. Caroline Leavitt's second marriage to whippersnapper Sheldon Adelson was broadcast nationwide and made a shitload of money thanks to t-shirt sales and commemorative plates, thus making it an even more special a day. You can pay just a small deposit now to receive your 128-piece full dining set in 2028.
December.
Hi, Byron Nominal Howitzer here still. What a December. My God, to think it was only a month ago. What hasn't happened? Trump has appointed Mr. Gray as his Prime Minister. That's his name. I think it's spelled M-I-H-S-T-A. Like Mista. It's Russian, I think. Mista. That's what he sounds like. Thanks to AI and my agreeing to share my location, I can just go into a shop and take what I want and pay automatically. It's great. There's no way to pay for anything without this. You're in the system or you're not, and you can't live if you're not. Constant surveillance at all times. It's what we've always wanted. Now we know when someone's thinking about being a communist when they stop buying some of the great stuff on offer. And finally, for Christmas, President Trump was seen wearing a brand new uniform from Hugo Boss, and the media has had a great time over the last several days debating what this could possibly mean. Lots of bad actors out there misinterpreting things on purpose, trying to make it all sound nefarious. For shame. And let's not forget 2026 was the year that Christopher came back and that President Trump invented the double salute. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Wiggle, wiggle. What a great year. I'm looking forward to 2027. Are you? Write how much you are looking forward to 2027 in the comments, if you are able. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Everything's great. Don't worry about it. Bye-bye.